Hi friends, welcome to my channel about wine and grapes. Today let's talk about a grape variety that often stands in the shadow of its more famous descendant, Cabernet Sauvignon, yet holds its own as one of the most fascinating and versatile classic grapes in the world. Cabernet Franc. With a rich history steeped in tradition, a bright, sometimes playful character, and an extraordinary range of flavors, Cabernet Franc is a wine lover's best-kept secret. Whether you're a seasoned sommelier or just starting to explore the world of wine, this is a grape you're going to want to know better. Cabernet Franc is one of the oldest cultivated grape varieties still in use today. Its roots trace back to France's Loire Valley around the 17th century, but some records hint at its cultivation near Bordeaux and Angoulême as far back as the Middle Ages. While the exact story of its origin remains a bit mysterious, researchers increasingly point to wild, local grapevines domesticated centuries ago. What truly put Cabernet Franc on the map was the discovery through DNA analysis that it is a literal parent to both Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon. Specifically, Cabernet Sauvignon is the result of a natural crossing between Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc. Pretty wild, right? That makes Cabernet Franc a true patriarch of some of the world's greatest wines. By the 1800s, the grape had established itself in Bordeaux, playing a vital supporting role in many of the region's blends. From the late 18th century onward, it brought elegance, softness, and aromatic complexity to the legendary Bordeaux Reds we know today. France remains ground zero for classic Cabernet Franc. It thrives in Bordeaux, especially on the right bank in regions like Libournais, Saint-Emilion, and Pomerol. Here, it's blended with Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon. But in Saint-Emilion, some estates, think Chateau Cheval Blanc, let Cabernet Franc shine as the star or near star of the blend. Then there's the Loire Valley, Anjou, Saumur, and especially Touraine, where Cabernet Franc is often bottled solo, producing wines known for their freshness, finesse, and generous berry flavors. Italy has long embraced Cabernet Franc in the north, particularly in Friuli, Veneto, and northern Tuscany, where it pops up in some high-end Super Tuscan blends. Italian Cabernet Franc tends to be juicier, with plenty of herbaceous, savory green pepper notes hanging around. The Americas have become major players too. California, Washington State, and New York are all putting their spin on Cab Franc. But the variety truly makes a splash in Canada, especially around Niagara, where it's behind some of the world's most celebrated ice wines. Cabernet Franc has also found a comfortable home in Hungary, the Balkans, Argentina, Chile, South Africa, Australia, even China. In each region, the grape expresses a unique fingerprint, shaped by climate and soil. Cabernet Franc grapes are medium-sized with slightly bluish skins that are less thick and dense than those of Cabernet Sauvignon. It's an adaptable, earlier ripening varietal, making it an attractive option for growers in cooler climates where late autumn rains threaten harvests. This grape is fairly resilient. It stands up to cold winters and has good disease resistance, thanks to the structure of its vine and berries. That's a huge plus for farmers focused on sustainable or organic wine growing. Yields are generally moderate and the grape ripens relatively early, so you get consistent fruit without too much risk. All in all, it's a pretty winemaker-friendly variety. When you take a sip of Cabernet Franc, here's what you might notice swirling in the glass. First, imagine a burst of red berries. Think juicy currants, ripe raspberries, maybe even a hint of blueberry or cherry sneaking in. Then there's a floral touch. Violets, irises, sometimes a gentle breath of lavender or rose. Don't be surprised if you pick up an unmistakable whiff of fresh herbs, tarragon, maybe a bit of thyme, and those classic green notes that remind you of walking in a summer garden. One of Cabernet Franc's calling cards is that green bell pepper aroma. Some wine lovers adore it, others find it quirky, but it's part of what makes this grape unique. You might also catch a subtle hint of tomato leaf, a little earthy vibe, maybe even something that brings to mind freshly sharpened pencils. And if the wine spent time maturing in oak, expect gentle notes of tobacco, soft vanilla, and a sprinkling of spice to round things out. Depending on where it's grown and how it's made, Cabernet Franc can range from light-bodied and almost floral to full, rich, and peppery. Loire Valley versions are typically light to medium-bodied, zippy, exuberantly aromatic, and often meant to be enjoyed in their youth. Bordeaux examples tend to be richer, especially when blended, taking on a velvety plush character with age. New World bottlings can offer a lot of fruit, sometimes with a riper, lusher style, but still retain that unmistakable herbal signature. Young wines play up the berry and herb combo, while aged Cab Franc can develop gentle tobacco, earthy, and forest floor notes, with a melting, silky tannin structure. Cabernet Franc lends itself to a ton of styles in the cellar. In the Loire, producers favor gentle extraction and short maceration times, aiming to capture freshness, lightness, and that wild berry personality. It's common to see minimal oak here, just good, lively fruit in the glass. Across Bordeaux and Tuscany, winemakers may opt for longer aging in oak barrels, adding complexity and structure. Think chocolate, cedar, vanilla, and spice notes. In the New World, experimentation is the name of the game, from unoaked, chillable reds to deeply structured reserve wines. In Canada, where the climate is cool, Cabernet Franc is famously used for ice wine, grapes left to freeze on the vine, then made into luscious, sweet dessert wines with a punch of acidity and vibrant fruit. Wondering what to eat with a glass of Cabernet Franc? Honestly, it's one of the most food-friendly reds out there. Start with poultry. Roast duck or chicken works beautifully, especially if you've tossed in some garden herbs. If you like lamb or beef, go for recipes that use fresh rosemary or thyme. Cab Franc loves those herbal accents. For anyone who enjoys wild game, try pairing it with pheasant or quail. The wine's earthy notes bring out the best in these flavors. When it comes to cheese, this wine is a natural match. Creamy goat cheese, a slice of brie or camembert, even mild blue cheeses can make for a mouth-watering combination. But don't stop there. Think of hearty vegetable dishes, roasted peppers, eggplant, tomato-based ragouts, or go fully vegetarian with a pasta and tomato sauce or a mushroom risotto. And if you're feeling adventurous, Cab Franc can handle a bit of gentle spice. So mild curries or Asian-inspired dishes, like teriyaki chicken, are worth a try. Just one tip, keep things balanced. Let the wine's herbal, berry-infused personality stand alongside your food without getting overshadowed. So where does Cabernet Franc really shine? If you're looking for legendary blends, head straight for Bordeaux, especially Saint-Emilion and Pomerol. Here, wineries like Chateau Cheval Blanc put Cabernet Franc front and center, showing off its true potential. Craving single varietal wines with personality? The Loire Valley's Chignon, Bourguet, and Saumur-Champigny are home to reds bursting with fresh fruit and earthy charm. These are must-tries for any wine explorer. Over in northern Italy, places like Friuli and Veneto are crafting Cab Francs with juicy flavors and spicy undertones, while Tuscany uses the grape in some of its most luxurious blends. Don't overlook the New World either. In Canada's Niagara Peninsula, you'll find both vibrant dry reds and show-stopping ice wines. And in California and Washington, winemakers are pushing boundaries, delivering powerful yet beautifully balanced bottles. Here are a few cool tidbits about Cabernet Franc. First off, did you know it's the actual parent of both Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot? That's some serious family tree bragging rights. In a Bordeaux blend, even a dash of Cab Franc can crank up the aroma and add layers of complexity. No wonder it's called the aromatic engine. People often mention the grape's signature green and peppery notes. Far from being a flaw, these flavors are what set Cabernet Franc apart and give it real character. And for the best-tasting wines, look for bottles made from grapes grown on sandy, gravelly, or limestone soils. That's where Cabernet Franc really struts its stuff. Picking out a bottle of Cabernet Franc? Here's how to get the most from your wine. If you're after juicy flavors with herbal complexity, grab something that's about 3 to 5 years old. This is the sweet spot for fresh fruit and balanced green notes. But if you're a fan of more savory, earthy flavors, aged bottles that have spent 8 to 10 years in the cellar can be pure magic. When you serve Cabernet Franc, aim for a temperature around 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. The lighter styles from the Loire taste even better a bit cooler, while fuller-bodied Bordeaux or New World versions shine when they're slightly warmer. And for glassware, stick with a classic red wine glass. Plenty of room for those amazing aromas to do their thing. Cabernet Franc may have spent centuries playing the role of best supporting actor in blends, but it absolutely deserves a spotlight on its own. This is a grape with real pedigree, a treasure trove of aromas, and a balancing act between elegance and charm. Whether as a pure varietal wine or in a blend, it delivers freshness, food-friendliness, and complexity in spades. So if you're curious about a red wine that sits somewhere between power and finesse, and if you love exploring the subtleties of different terroirs, give Cabernet Franc a try. Dive into the classics from the Loire, the iconic bottlings of Bordeaux, or the bold expressions from the New World. You just might discover your new wine obsession. Thank you for watching until the end. If you want to learn more about wines, grape varieties, and how to choose the perfect drink for any occasion, be sure to subscribe, put a like, and write your comments. There's much more unique and exciting content ahead. See you soon, and may your glass be filled with bright impressions.